Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ethan Bernard. In today's video, I'm going to be making you guys a guide on what I believe are the best keybinds for Anthem and kind of how I move around so efficiently using Interceptor. Not really talking about the movement itself as much, but how I make it as easy as possible for me to do it while still being able to completely focus myself on the task at hand. Now let's go in here to the settings. Now this video obviously pertains to PC only. I'm not sure how the controller customization works. I will worry about that later, but for now, we are going to go into the keybinds and I'm going to share with you guys what I think is probably the most efficient binding, at least for my experience. Starting off, we're going to leave all the movement stuff standard, okay? Forward, backward, left, right, jump, sprint, all that is fine. However, with Evade, now this applies to you, which I'm assuming is most of you. If you're playing Anthem on PC, you probably have a decent PC, in which case you probably have a decent mouse. So Evade is bound to the bottom of the side mouse button. So my mouse is the final mouse. So it's a simple mouse, two side buttons, right and left click with a clickable middle mouse button that scrolls. You know, super simple, super light. I love it for competitive gaming. And I have Evade bound to the bottom side mouse button. So the one closest to me, mouse 4, apparently. So this is so I can evade in melee very easily. I have both evade and melee set to my mouse buttons, so I can focus my other hand on the task at hand when it comes to directional movement and jumping and using abilities. Is all controlled by my left hand, and aiming, shooting, evading, and meleeing, all the fighting side is all controlled with my right hand. Now, I did switch hover over from C to left control. This is because hover and fly are both right next to each other now, left shift and left control. So I'll use my pinky for both of these, and I'll do what I like. I usually call it quick boosting. If you jump and hover very quickly, if you press spacebar control very quickly, you can hover almost in one animation. Same thing for flying, you know. I like doing this a lot. It's way easier to do it when they're both right next to each other, given I don't really hover a lot on Interceptor. This is just for an example. But if you want to fly somewhere, you know, you'll see most people do this, where they'll jump and then fly. You don't really need to do that, you know? You can just kind of get going. Save yourself a lot of time. Same thing with hovering. If you're a storm main, just do this. Boom. You're in the air. You don't have to do the whole... You know, it's not a huge thing. You know, doesn't really matter that much, but I do like to use it. It's more efficient in the middle of the game, and in the end, that's all I'm going for here, is the most efficient control scheme. Now, moving on, we're going to be talking about, this is all pretty standard, left, right, middle mouse button, yada, yada, yada. Melee, I have set to my top side mouse button. Like I said, this is so I can focus on my mouse movement for both aiming the melee, evading, and all that stuff. It's all very important for Interceptor, which is my main, and I find it very useful instead of having to spam V, which is definitely not a very good default bind, especially for Interceptor mains. Reload is R as always. Now this I did do. Switch weapon I set to both mouse wheel up and down. So now when I'm in combat, I don't have to press 1 and 2 to switch. Since you only have 2 weapons, it doesn't matter which way you scroll it, you're going to be swapping, which I enjoy quite a bit, because I honestly have never been really a fan of pressing the numbers to switch weapons. You can press 2 to bring out your second one, 1 to bring out your primary. But when I'm in combat, you know, I'm flipping around, we're in combat, and I can just scroll my way to victory and not having to worry about moving my hand off of the place where I used to move. Now, let's finish this off here, go back into the controls, see what we got going here. Alright, ability 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this is your strike, your assault, and your support. These I left on default. You don't really need to move these at all, honestly. You end up using abilities a lot in this game, but I didn't really find it that much of a burden to move my fingers off the movement keys for a split second, considering how close all of these are. Literally, Q, E, Z, and X are all touching WASD, which is where your fingers should always be placed. Is ring finger on A, middle finger on W, and primary finger on D. Anyway, so all your fingers are right next to these off the bat. Same with interact, and I just like that a lot. Now, inventory, I didn't actually rebind because, as you know, if you go into your map, you actually have access to all this stuff. So what I'll do is I bound my map to tab. So if I press tab right here, I have the map, inventory, social, and all that. So I didn't really rebind anything, and the thing that I use the most is the map for free play to figure out where friends are, figure out where we want to go, which place we want to explore and loot today. So I'll just bind that to tab, and then honestly, I'm pretty sure I left everything else default when that is concerned right down here, because honestly, you don't need to press different buttons for options and social and Cortex and all that stuff. It's all here right in that tab menu once you rebind map to tab. Now, like I said, weapon 1 and 2 are bound to 1 and 2. That's fine. I prefer the scroll wheel option personally, but you can use whatever you want. If you're used to pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for weapons, you can use these and it won't hurt at all. Now, the emotes I did change a bit. They're bound by default to comma, period, and /, which I don't know why. Honestly, I don't use emotes a lot in this game. There aren't very many good ones out there, but I bound this to F1, 2, and 3 just for simplicity. You know, it works. It doesn't hurt at all. It's closer to my hand than reaching all the way over to period, / and comma, because that's just a really dumb keybind in my opinion. But I can press F3 to wave to someone, F2 to clap sarcastically at someone, and F1 to toss a flare for literally no reason because they don't even go underwater. Alright guys, I think that's about it for the key bindings. Let's see if we missed any down here on this list. Oh, push to talk. Honestly, I usually use left alt right next to spacebar for push to talk, but when I try to do that, it won't let me, so I just left it at T. I haven't really found anyone who talks in this game yet. Hopefully down the line some teammates will start to communicate, but most of the time when I'm playing this anyway, I'm with a squad in Discord, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know down in the comments below. If you have any Anthem videos you'd like me to make, let me know. Do you have any specific guides or walkthroughs or anything you want to see? I'm still in the progress of uploading all the story missions, and I'm actually still in the progress of leveling up my Interceptor. You guys can see here, my Interceptor is currently at 472. I have been grinding the shit out of this game. I have like 55 hours in at this point. I cannot get a Masterwork support seal to drop, and I'm still struggling to get a couple of those Masterwork components, but we're getting there. We've been grinding. We've been on the grind. I managed to get 2 separate legendary weapons to drop. Don't ask me how. I was freaking out both of those drops. So 2 legendary drops in over 50 hours. Not that good of a number, but hot diggity damn, these weapons are fun to use. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey naysayers, how y'all been? It's been a minute, but I'm in it to win, and I ain't finished. This is the starting gun, and I'ma run it to the front until I'm #1, son. This is a rhythmic defibrillation, innovative old school to thrill the